This video was created because there seems to be a lot of confusion out there concerning socialism. The confusion comes from the historical methods that various countries have used to apply socialism. These historical methods, however, are political systems that are attempting to implement the socialist doctrine. These attempts were naive and unsophisticated. In a socialist economic system, the state does not have to own any means of production. The state simply has to ensure that the wealth created by production is distributed in a fair and equitable manner. The redistribution of inappropriately retained wealth can easily be accomplished through taxation. So again, the government does not have to have ownership in business. Now, to understand what is meant by inappropriately retained wealth, let's consider a market need for handymen. Our founding fathers lived in an artisan economy. In the artisan economy that our founding fathers understood, each handyman would be in business for himself, offering his services to the community, and he would be in direct competition with all other handymen. Each handyman would have to dedicate time to accepting requests for his services and making sales calls to create new business. Each would need time to purchase supplies, and each would need time to complete the projects that he accepted. So although one may get more requests because his quality is better than others, he would be limited on his time, and he would have to turn over the surplus to his competition. Now let us say then that this popular handyman decided to identify other handymen of similar quality and offer his seal of approval for their work. Or let us say other handymen approached the other and said, "I don't like sales calls. I don't like administrative work. I just want to function as a handyman. Let me work for you." With a group of handymen working together, they could harness each other's strengths to accomplish more than if they each worked in direct competition with each other. In short, the handymen can develop synergy by working together. Rather than completing 6 projects separately, the company of handymen can now complete 9 projects by working together. They have more business because of the dedicated salesperson. Their costs are reduced by buying supplies in greater volume together. They are then able to charge customers less, which in turn increases project sales even more. The quality of each project is improved because the field workers are practicing their specialized skills. In short, handymen can develop synergy by working together. Synergy is the term that describes the increased outcome of production when people harness their collective efforts. Synergy is what increases company profits over profits produced by solitary artisans or individualistic competition. And their synergy allows additional handymen to come into the company with them, which means the company grows. Socialism says profits are to be equitably distributed amongst those who participated in the production of the profits. Socialism argues that each of our handymen made significant contributions that led towards increased company profits. Their company was able to create more profits than if they each worked separately in individualistic competition. Consequently, each handyman is entitled to an equal share of the profits. Capitalism argues that handymen in the field who are unaware of what is happening in the office should be paid a minimum income, while the office staff gets an extra premium for underpaying the field staff. The essence of socialism is not the workers' ownership in the means of production, as many less educated commentators argue. The essence of socialism is that each person contributing to the profits gets an equitable share in what they help produce. Basically, the owner or the owners of a business are entitled to the profits that they could produce if they operated the business individually. Any additional profits produced by employees are the property of the employees. These principles apply equally to both production and service-based forms of employment. What determines the income of each worker are the profits of the business that they work for. Subsequently, workers at a business that earn little are paid little. Workers at a business that earns a lot are paid a lot as well. Next, we must consider how socialist principles apply collectively to society. Whether a person earns a lot or little, each person is a participant in society, and regardless of their role, each person contributes to society simply by virtue of his participation in it. Each contributor to the society, therefore, is entitled to the collective benefits of that society. And it should be pointed out, too, that each person is responsible to contribute to the overall maintenance and upkeep of the means by which the collective benefits of society are equitably distributed. Which is to say, each person is required to pay taxes to maintain the social services and infrastructure of the society. The question is how taxes should be assessed. Even in our capitalist system, taxation is progressive. The wealthy do pay more, but taxation uses a bottom-up formula. Socialism argues that wealth can be inappropriately retained. A socialist version of a progressive taxation, then, is a top-down strategy. So let's see how the two strategies differ. In our current American version, there is a minimum threshold set, which is currently approximately $13,015. Currently, the mean income is $67,609. Under a socialist system, anyone earning more than the mean would pay their surplus in taxes. Then the IRS would distribute those taxes to those that made less than the mean as a supplemental income. Consequently, every household in the United States would have the mean income of $67,609. A socialist system would offer many benefits. First of all, we would not have to pay extra for our utilities. The electric, the gas, the water, the local telephone, all of these would be a part of the services provided. In addition, universal health care would be provided, as well as a guaranteed income for life. So we wouldn't have to worry about retirement, and we wouldn't have to worry about not finding a good job. When we consider the mean income, it becomes quite obvious why socialism is not implemented. And on top of that, we also have to consider the rather hefty tax that would be assessed to all households. To provide all public services, we would have to have a tax rate of nearly 40%, which means each household would have a net income of $44,000 a year. Now, when you consider the lifestyle of the affluent and those of politicians and power brokers, you can begin to understand why nobody wants socialism. Although socialism would be good for the general welfare of the society, it would require too great a sacrifice for those who currently retain influence.